Good morning / afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our second official webinar talking about AI and software development. My name is Dasha, and I am the Senior Account Director here at Tateeda, and I will be your co-host for today's session along with Slava, the CEO of Tateeda. So we really know that AI is transforming the way we approach software development, whether it's from automating repetitive tasks to enhancing code quality and efficiency. Here at Tateeda, we're leveraging cutting-edge AI technologies to really deliver innovative solutions for our clients. So during today's webinar, we're going to go over the various applications of AI in software development. We're going to go over some real-world use cases, and we're going to share our insights on how AI can drive productivity, reduce costs, and improve overall software quality. The goal of today's webinar is to provide you with a really comprehensive understanding of how AI can transform your software development processes and help you stay ahead of the curve. So our agenda for today, we just went over some brief introductions. We're going to talk about the impact of AI on software development. We're going to go over some tools in software development. We're going to go over the future of AI and then some practical applications as well. Slava, do you maybe want to start us off with the AI evolution?
Yep, thank you, Dasha. Great. Yes, I would like to start with a little history on AI. Most of us know that AI did not came in play just yesterday. It's been actually for a while, and early in 1950s, the first test was performed by Alan Turing, where he compared human input versus machine input and try and ask participant to identify if the text was generated by human or machine. And this is where that machine intelligence was born, which led to a lot of discussion, but it was a really starting point in AI and machine learning. In the late 80s, early 90s, machine learning started picking up. People start engaging multiple techniques or acquiring the data, and neural network was created. So pretty much what it means, it's not linear patterns recognition. So machine were able to work pretty much as human brain and think not linearly. The big boom in the early 2000s, this century, and right now was with big data. So as most of us know that AI is very data driven. More data we have, the more predictable AI is and better decision we can make. These days, data is getting less and less, storage of the data getting less and less expensive, hardware getting less expensive, and people collecting as much data as possible. So that's what drives AI these days. All right, Dasha, you want to talk a little bit about next slide?
Yeah, and while there is a lot of information on the slide, you don't need to worry about reading everything. We will send the slides after. But as I said at the beginning, we're really entering the AI revolution in software development. So we see this mostly in driving efficiency and productivity. So some key stats that we've listed here show how AI-driven code optimization and automation can reduce development time by 40%. And then companies who have implemented automated testing and continuous integration tools report a 30% increase in development speed. And then those who have AI-powered code review tools have found improved code quality by 25%. And then something that I found personally interesting is just how AI helps personalize the user experience. So machine learning algorithms can actually analyze user behaviors, which we've seen increase engagement by up to 20%. And then we can use real-time analytics powered by AI to provide insights, which help developers make informed decisions that enhance product performance by 35%. In the next slide, we're actually going to talk about some AI tools in software development that can help you with these tasks.
Well, let me talk about some tools here, Dasha. So some of the popular tools in the market is Kite and Tab9, also Copilot from GitHub, and some other tools. So let me actually go to the next slide. So I listed here different tools which are available in the market. And because we are mostly Microsoft technology company, we do most of our work with Microsoft technology. So we're using a lot of tools related to Microsoft, such as IntelliCode and Copilot. There's other tools which can be integrated in those environments, and ReSharper has great tools as well with AI. For different IDEs, there's also different tools, which we're not going to go through. You can see QA tools such as Selenium. Selenium been on the market for a long, long time. They're adding and improving their tools as well with adding AI and getting pretty good at that. Here's a whole list of tools. Go and check them out. A lot of them have a free subscription or trial subscription. So what AI tools help us with? Well, let's go to our next slide and talk about that. So we can pretty much break those tools in three different categories. One would be mostly for quality control and security. So those tools help us to identify bugs, look for vulnerability of the code, and mostly used by QA engineers, but also by developers. It helps developers to create case unit test, which is very tedious, but using AI, it can output really good scaffolding for your testing framework, which just incredibly increase the performance and quality of the code. Code maintainability, mostly used by DevOps engineers. This is where you can use AI to help you with deployment, continuous integration. It knows how to integrate different APIs. It knows how to build different tooling and implement those, also to prevent any bad code. So unit testing frameworks plays a role here. And another set of tools, I would say it's related to developers' productivity. This is where AI will help you to pretty much code complete for you. It will, which saves tons of time. A lot of time we just spend a lot of time typing. With using AI, it just completes the code, but you need to be very careful what it's outputting for you to review it. Activity tools is, for example, when you do debugging and you see an exception and you don't understand what that exception means, you can actually use AI and it will explain what exception really means and provide some suggestions for that exception. All right, let's go to the next slide.
Yeah, I'll touch upon this. I would say one of the significant impacts, in our opinion, in the future of AI is really going to be the use of AI-driven development environments. So as Slava said, really helping developers with coding, debugging, and testing tasks, which in turn is going to improve their productivity. So as AI drives more autonomous development, this is going to minimize the need for human intervention in repetitive tasks. So this lets developers refocus their time and efforts on problem solving, strategic planning, and ultimately delivering better software solutions. So the shift is going to really encourage developers to tackle more complex challenges. But of course, as AI capabilities expand, ethical considerations and regulatory compliance will become top of mind. So ensuring fairness, transparency, and accountability in AI development is going to be huge just in maintaining trust and mitigating any potential risks. But with that being said, I don't want to overlook the potential of AI-enhanced collaboration. So tools to help improve communication and coordination amongst globally distributed development teams. And then with advanced features like real-time translation, this really lets remote work become much more efficient and seamless. On the slide that Slava just hopped on, all of that to say, really, by leveraging AI, we can streamline workflows, enhance collaboration, and ultimately deliver high-quality software solutions much more efficient and effectively, reducing development cycles by up to 50%, and that even works in a distributed work environment. When we think about some practical applications of AI, the way I see it most commonly for me is when clients come to us asking for what's the pricing going to be like, or how long will a project like this take? I would say using a tool like ChatGPT to get project estimates is really going to give you a good starting point and set expectations. You can put in your specs, your idea. It will give you the cost, the hours, and so on, and it really gives you a detailed breakdown. So I would definitely leverage that.
Great. All right, let's touch a little bit on practical applications. Most of you know Uber and Waymo, self-driving cars. Well, they are driven by AI, and they are getting better and better every day. So AI is there. They have a base. The only downside right now for self-driving car is the speed of our network, in my opinion. When we get to G5 with the increasing speed of data flowing between individual cars and network, I think that will definitely increase and boost self-driving cars. So we'll see more and more of those coming. Small technology, AI, we're using in our homes already, and like iRobot or Roombas, which is running in your house and cleaning your floors, they're AI driven. They do collect information. They know how to avoid objects on their way. They know how to sense different kind of environments, and this is great. Brain Corporation here in San Diego, they have a commercial cleaning tools which can clean huge warehouses, big stores, and they can avoid human or anything. So they're learning their process and becoming more and more efficient, saving a lot of time and tedious work. AI assistants for shopping, you see more and more plugins popping in your browsers. And I would recommend using them because they help you to save money when you do shopping. They do comparative analysis and give a good recommendation. AI in our email application helps you today with creating better replies, analyze, scan emails, which is unbelievably great. The thing is, now we can see, at least I can see in Spot, when people don't revise text generated by AI, and you can definitely tell that was written by a bot. So pay attention to that, I would say. Most of our work related to healthcare, biotech, and fintech applications, we see a lot of changes and additions of AI to whatever health system is building these days. Yesterday, for example, I went to the event related to AI in healthcare, and UCSD in San Diego, they have great success with implementing AI into their practice. So they were able to reduce, for example, human error to 5%. So that means saving a lot of lives. Even though 5%, it means there's a human error every day in the hospital, which is still a lot. But it dropped from 20% to 5%. And just thank you to AI. It's helped to save human lives. We do work with AI more and more. We're getting involved with AI implementation. We have multiple projects going right now. One of them is where we do AI recommendation for itinerary for travelers. So when people go to the website, they don't know exactly what to do. It's a great tool to save you time and based on your interest, give you guidance for the city you're visiting, for example. Another project we have is related to technicians on the field, and that AI helps to scan all existing documents, schematics, provide the crew member on the field with the most detailed and outlined process how to troubleshoot the issue. It saves time and increase performance of those technicians on the field. Another application we're building is related to time management, performance for engineers. And our first attempt is we integrating with AI for assessing candidates who apply for the job. So AI helps us to scan resume and output information we're looking for. Okay, so here, actually, I would like to switch, and I want to show you some few practical examples what you can use ChatGPT or tool in the Visual Studio, for example, which we're very familiar with. So let me get to ChatGPT. For example, you get, well, senior developers definitely know how to do that, but again, even for senior developers to speed up your process, you can just drop the simple question in ChatGPT. For example, I'm trying to build SaaS application and create database where I want different users from different organization log in and I want to track their changes. I'm asking GTP to give me a script to create my database. And it does pretty good job. But I realized that I'm using my SQL database in Azure and I make my correction specifying ChatGPT to give me specific code for SQL, and that's what it's doing here. You need to be careful with what ChatGPT outputs and always review it. It's not just blindly trust the output. For example, I'm asking here that I want to include addresses for our users with different types. ChatGPT outputs my addresses as a string, which is, I would not probably do that. Either I need to refine my question to ChatGPT and specify that that needs to be a foreign key to another table or an enumeration, but not var chart. But that's trying to do its best job. Later on, I can ask ChatGPT that I'm using entity framework and I would like to create my entities for it. And it's actually output. It knows how to create primary key, foreign keys, create a relation, and create my DB context later on and set the configuration method and so on. And it outputs my migration calls so I can, in the future, create my migration, create those databases. My next question is, well, now I need to create an endpoint to log in. And I would like to use JWT with bearer tokens for authentication. Of course, it will go ahead and create necessarily code endpoints, will create my models, and so on. And it will explain what needs to be done, what additional steps I need to do. Finally, I want to create my Angular front end with TypeScript. That's exactly the command I specify for ChatGPT. It will output, it will tell me what I need to install, which packages, it will create my classes, my services, it would put guards here, create HTML, and give me additional information to be done as a next step here in the final one. So this is like, I can create in almost half an hour, fully blown application. The only thing I need to know how to copy and paste, how to set up my environment. And if you have challenges with that, you can still ask ChatGPT for that. Same thing for SQL. For example, I want to optimize my call to and reindex my old tables. I don't need to go and worry about that anymore. I ask ChatGPT and it's outputs pretty decent code. And I can fine tune whatever I want to optimize for, output exceptions. It will describe my error handling and if anything else I need to do. Dasha mentioned about documentation. For example, you can even do your documentation in ChatGPT. If we ask ChatGPT with some requirements and create system diagrams for architectural documents, it will try its best to output system architecture diagram. It's not as pretty as you can do it by hand, but at least it gives you a good idea what you can start working with. It will describe your architecture document with most important components and pinpoint you what you need to pay attention to. A great starting point to saves you a lot of times, especially for project managers. And if you want to estimate your effort, Dasha mentioned before, it will actually provide you the effort ChatGPT or AI thinks it would take to implement certain process. And as you can see, it's very detailed. One thing I want to share with you, when we were preparing for this webinar, I tried a new ChatGPT 4.0 for Omni. It creates great images in no time, but for some reason it's having some problem with spelling, and I don't know what's the deal with that. If you look at those images, all of them, all text is misspelled. This image I tried to use, but it totally messed up on the dates and so on. So, which is really interesting. That's why I'm saying you do need to revise what ChatGPT outputs and be very careful with output. One more sample I want to show you. Actually, it's real code in Visual Studio. For example, you can pinpoint to it's been recently released new addition to Copilot in Visual Studio. For example, you can use command like pound, and you can specify the file you want to process. But anyway, I already did that because it took a little bit of time and I don't want to waste it. But you can actually see, and I ask optimize for performance specific um, controller, and that's exactly what I did. You can click on the difference and you can see what it changed. In this case, it's just clean up my comments here, but it actually did show me where I can improve my code, which is great. So that's another practical demo I would like to show you. All right. So back.
Well, as we come to the end of our discussion, so it's clear that AI is going to make huge shifts in the software development industry. So whether it's from the AI-driven development environments that boost productivity to advanced machine learning models that really provide valuable insights, AI can and will transform the way that we approach software projects. Now, we do understand that it can be overwhelming and it's new, but we are here to be of assistance. So feel free to reach out to me, Slava, or Tateeda directly if you ever want to chat more about AI or how it can help you in your business. And if you would like the slides, please leave a thumb up in the chat and we will make sure to send it to you right after.
Yeah. Well, and again, in final notes, I would say for developers, don't worry about AI. It's not going to replace developers anytime soon, but you have to use AI to be more productive. People who don't know how to use AI, they will be outpaced by people who know how to use the tool. It's just another tool in your toolbox. Still, AI is outputting great results, helps with your code, predicts a lot of stuff, but you need to be careful with output. You still need to review it. You still need to validate yourself, use your knowledge. That's why more experienced developers will find more use of that. But warning for less experienced developers, not fully trust what it will output. So always take it with some caution. And final note, I would say use paid version of ChatGPT because that has definitely improved model. It's faster, it's less expensive, and you will definitely get much more result from the paid version. And that's pretty much it, Dasha.
That's all for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Okay.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
It's Lava about the NDA and code stuff, and then to do some like unit tests using ChatGPT, I need to share my code I'm writing to make it generate stuff. Is it safe to share my code with the AI to generate stuff for me? How this going about the code protection and kind of stuff?
Well, it's a great question. I think there's some debates. Every time you use the model, it will train the model. That means your code will be published for training the model. So if you're using just a snippets, if you don't output the maybe complete project, so it's just the snippets of the code, I think it's pretty safe because you don't have the global concept of what you're doing. If it's just simple functions, I think you're probably safe.
Yeah, because that come in my mind right now because I have been using it to help me with a unit test because sometimes writing unit tests take a lot of time. So
Yep.
then I usually paste my component or my method or my
Yep.
class and how big is it. And then I keep generating unit tests and then just completing if orders based on what he's been generating. So I think it's safe then. So
Yeah, I think if you have separate calls where just a snippet of the code, I think it's pretty safe because you don't have the full logic, right? And you don't have any sensitive data you're exposing. You still need to be very careful what you're trying to expose. Another thing, for example, ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot, when you have your account, it will actually be hooked with your GitHub account. It can analyze your code, but I believe this is in your own space or wherever your organization space. I'm not sure it's shared if you're going through the tools, but you need to read the documentation. Unfortunately, I don't know all those details yet, so it's something brand new and we need to explore.
Okay, and about the GitHub Copilot, if I have a license of ChatGPT, the paid version, I can use the GitHub Copilot together, or they are different licenses?
No, I think those different products.
Okay.
ChatGPT is not the same as GitHub Copilot. They're different. But with ChatGPT, I believe you can create your own GTP, which you can use.
So I can create my own Copilot using GPT.
Well, yeah, it's not really, but yes, there's a number of number of GTPs actually publicly available. You can actually call and reuse those GTPs, so you might be able to do something like that.
I also have been trying the Google Gemini, which
Yes.
the same stuff for ChatGPT, but sometimes the Gemini gives me using wrong libraries and stuff, but ChatGPT giving me more accurate answers than Gemini. So probably because Gemini is more trained by most users using it.
Well, again, so those are comparative systems, and I would recommend to use or run your question through multiple platforms like Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT, or even Perplexity. Those are tools available, and compare results and see what is it going to satisfy your output or what you're looking for. Well, I think there's some chats here, but I think we're running out of time at this point. All right, guys. Well, thank you for stopping by and spending time with us.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.